I got myself a Blue Yeti X um, microphone, and I wanted to see just how that works out. I also got the new Logic Cool C930E webcam. Uh, I, as many people, I'm sure, I'm using a Macintosh computer. The built-in Macintosh FaceTime camera is fine for uh, calls to the family and so on, but it's not absolutely the best quality camera. It's a little bit dated now. The 720p is showing its age, I think. It's time for Apple to up their game in that area. So until Apple does that, I've decided to go ahead and upgrade my camera by using as I said, the Logicool C930E webcam. It's got a wider, it shows a wider angle, and it's got a higher resolution, the 1080p as opposed to the Macintosh's built-in FaceTime 720p camera. I had been using my iPhone as a camera. There's software, but that was almost overkill. The camera in the iPhone is even the front-facing camera, the selfie camera, which isn't as good as the rear-facing camera, is still more or less overkill for this type of broadcast. But it worked, and it worked. I think it gave a better picture than I was getting. I know it was giving a better picture than I was getting through the built-in FaceTime camera. But I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and try a new, the new webcam and the new microphone all at the same time to see if I can up my game a little bit as far as the quality goes of both the picture and sound. Of course, it's not going to change much. It's not going to probably change anything at all for the PowerPoint that I'm doing, since I'm sharing a screen there. I'm guessing that I'm not sharing a screen. I'm sharing an application window. So I'm assuming it's going out at whatever the maximum resolution is for that application window. I'm assuming that it's not going to matter what the camera is, obviously, because I'm not doing it through the camera. I'm sharing the application window, so that won't make any difference. But now you can see me clearer. Be that a benefit or a detriment, I'm not sure, but it is what it is. And also, of course, the new microphone, you can hear me maybe better. This Yeti X by Blue seems to be a pretty good microphone. I'd lift it up here, but I don't want to shock people with, oh, Abyss, hello, happy Monday. What's left of it anyway? Yeah. I'm what time is it? Yeah, just after 2:00 in the afternoon, and yeah, I'm just relaxing a little bit before I head home. I've finished my 2 classes. I teach Monday morning, so I start my Mondays early. I had 2 classes this morning and a few things. Let's see. Did you catch my broadcast on Saturday? I was hoping you or Jeff would pop in. No, I missed it. What time was it? Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it. I wish I would have caught that. I really do. I know Charles had his game going too over the weekend, and I missed that. That one, I know that I was sleeping during the time that he was doing that broadcast. So that's, I'm sorry, but I like my sleep. I do enjoy sleeping. In fact, I was just watching Tiara from Indonesia. The young woman, Tiara, had a broadcast and was talking to JB and in Sweden, I believe he is. And he was talking about how sleep is such a poor use of our limited time on this planet. That's all right. It was a science roundtable on human nature, interaction, and how it evolved over time. Wow. It's not all right. I really would have liked to have seen that. I really would have liked to, I mean, not necessarily participate online because I'm not very knowledgeable about such things, except as a layman again, the same as my philosophy, I guess. But that would have been very interesting. I'll have to look for the replay and definitely give that a look. So yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. Yeah, I'm sure that you told me before, and with one thing or another, I just didn't get to see that. Yeah. Oh, but as I was saying, I had a neuroscientist, a cosmologist, and entomologist. Wow. As guests, yeah. That would have been very interesting. Yeah, definitely. I will be looking for that video to watch on the replay. So thank you. Yeah. Wonderful thing about HAPS, there are some platforms that don't save your videos. Of course, there are lots of them that do, but I really appreciate the fact that HAPS saves our videos, at least as a default, and as well as allowing us to stream onto various different platforms all at the same time. It's wonderful. Yeah, neuroscientist, a cosmologist, and etymologist. Wow, cool. Roundtable on human nature interaction and how it evolved over time. Cool. That, yeah, definitely got to give that a watch. 2-hour broadcast, so you can watch it sparingly. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, hey, I mean, I can make 2 hours sometimes to watch movies. I can definitely make 2 hours to watch a very interesting panel discussion. Yeah. A roundtable discussion. Yeah, cool. Anyway, what I was saying, yeah, that I don't feel that my sleep time is a waste of time or less than less beneficial use of my time. I enjoy my sleep. I mean, beyond the physical and mental boost that it gives me, at least for the last 15 years, and especially the last 8 years, 8 or 9 years. Let's say the last almost 10 years, but the last 9 years, my dreams have been really, really wonderful. No bad dreams. Well, I won't say no bad dreams, but even dreams where it seems that I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I don't feel terrified. I don't feel scared. I don't feel any kind of desperation. I feel like I look at the situation very objectively in my dream, probably more so than I do in waking, or so than I do in waking life. But most of the dreams are very, very, really, really enjoy my dream. I look forward to my CK Jr. I guess it's Jar Jr. CK. Welcome. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. This is just like I said, as I was saying, I bought myself a new camera and a new microphone, and I'm just seeing how they look and sound. The further is nice. Not sure what that means. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. The further is nice. But anyway, yeah, I like I said, I don't feel that my sleep time is sleep is very essential to life, a lot more than the bad rep is usually gets. Right? Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, like I said, a mental boost, physical boost, physical rejuvenation, mental rejuvenation, and dreams. Dreams are just a lot of fun for me. REM further. Okay, all right, I get you. Yeah, the REM. Yep, the deep sleep, the rapid eye movement, the dream phase, definitely. Um, Highlight of my day, something to look forward to at the end of every day. Um, I guess maybe that wasn't always. I never had a lot of bad dreams. Um, Not a lot. I remember when I was young, I had a recurring dream. It was a strange dream. I remember, darkness, and I remember some dark figure, shape more than a human figure or even a distinct animal, but a dark shape that was pursuing me and being under. Somehow I ended up under the kitchen table where my mother was sitting. I believe she was preparing a meal or something, and I was under the table with this thing pursuing me. And I had that recurring dream several times when I was young. That little bit of it is the only thing I remember. That was, of course, the right before waking up. But great catching you live, Dan. I'm going to conclude my evening and turn in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping in. Look forward to the next time. Of course, I'll be on earlier. You know that I'm usually on earlier than this. It's just that I just got my camera and microphone in hand, and so I thought I'd do a little test here. Be there guests available or not, but yeah, very happy that you are here to catch this little bit. I will play some Friendly Feud, maybe do some Trivial Pursuit. I finished up a couple more Family Feud. I always want to say Family Feud. It's Friendly Feud. Finished up a couple more Friendly Feud games, got them all prepared, ready to go. So Wednesday morning, my time, Tuesday evening, your time, I'll be doing that again. And then followed up, of course, with my layman's philosophy time with Jeff Morrow and guests. Anyone, CJ, if you're interested, please feel free to drop in. It's 11 o'clock my time, so I believe that's 10 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Pacific time, I believe. And my friend and I just sit around. We're, both of us are English teachers here in Japan. I, like most people, many people anyway, have, took several philosophy classes when I was at university and enjoyed it, ethics and general philosophy. Took a course, I remember, from Hobbes to Hume and so on. Not a lot of courses on the really ancient philosophers, but yeah, after taking a few philosophy courses and then living 60 years or more, came up with my own ideas about different things, philosophical ideas and so on. And it's just kind of interesting to see what other people, not necessarily philosophers, but just what regular people who, each have their own background, their own way that they came to whatever kind of answers that they have come to. And, just sharing the ideas about what kind of answers people have come to about the different questions, right? I thought the last one that we had was pretty interesting. the one that we talked about. So what do you think existed before the universe was created? I guess that's physics, physics or metaphysical question, and so on. Is math something that humans created or something that we discovered? Of course, this is a great debate, current, dating back hundreds of years. The idea of what is math, these math discoveries or inventions, which is a more accurate description of that. And is it possible for a human to fathom the true depths of reality and existence, was the third question that we talked about. So if those sound interesting, yeah, please look up my old video, the last one that we did on layman's philosophy, and you can see what kind of discussion we had about those. I mean, for me, philosophy is fun to think about, but not anything to get too excited about, because it seems that philosophy seems to offer more questions than answers. I'm not sure. Well, I don't really think that philosophy offers any definitive answers. It's more just people's opinions about things and their justifications for those opinions, which is fine. And I think to a certain extent, it's what we need. We more or less all need. I mean, we are social animals. We need to interact, and we need to interact in such a way that we are comfortable. Each person, each participant in the interaction needs to be comfortable with the way those interactions are conducted. And so sharing our ideas about philosophical topics can lend some insight into how to deal with other people. I mean, of course, other fields also deal with that actually more directly, right? Psychology, sociology, and so on. But yeah, I guess I don't know always, but since I was rather young, have had kind of a philosophical bent or an interest in philosophical questions. Yeah, without the driving need to really find the answer, because again, I think for most of them, it's not known and unknowable for a lot of the questions, but it's still interesting to think about and talk about. So, yeah, and then so the Friendly Feud, which I've talked about, mentioned a couple of times here. Friendly Feud, it's Family Feud, but played obviously virtually through the HAPS platform, and instead of teams, of families or whatever, we just do it as individuals. But it's the same type of thing. A survey question is asked, and then all the players, through their text messages in the chat, can guess their answers and things like that. And I mean, it's not much, but I do send out certificates for the winners of the game each time. Initially, I just sent out the first place, but I started sending out first, second, and third. Why not? Give everyone a chance to, or give more people a chance to receive that certificate, a little recognition of their performance in the game. It's it allows me a little more contact with people. Just give them something. It's not much, I understand. I admit completely it's not much, but Uh, then again, I mean, it's just a freely a little game that was made freely available for people. So you get what you pay for, kind of thing, I guess. And then I also do. I just started doing this. I kind of replaced. I did have these America quiz, peace game quiz, I called it, and the Japan game quiz, which were questions from these board games that I had, and they're not bad. They're not bad, and I may go back to that. For example, here's a question from the the USA peace game is what it was called. So, for example, this question: what wildlife? Oh, there goes the train by. Do you hear that? I don't know. I'll have to listen later to see how noisy the train is. There's a train station just right next to the railroad tracks. Railroad tracks run very close to our campus here. So every once in a while, a train will go through. What Wildlife Conservation Act's goal is to reverse the alarming trend of human-caused extinctions that threatens the ecosystems we all share. All right. So this is a pretty guessable one, I would say. What Wildlife Conservation Act's goal? So the name of a Wildlife Conservation Act, right? How many of those do you know? Probably not too many. Okay. So if you can dig one out of your memory there, that's probably the right one. So what Wildlife Conservation Act's goal is to reverse the alarming trend of human-caused extinctions that threatens the ecosystems we all share. Human-caused extinctions. Okay. So now you know what we're talking about. Anyway, though, that's the type of question that these have. This one's all about America. I've got lots and lots, a few hundred of those type of questions that are kind of fun and interesting. But I've kind of put those on the side and made the friend my main gaming entertainment broadcasts. Internet connection is unstable. I don't know why. It's just like every time I brought a message, regardless of whether I'm on Wi-Fi or a wired connection. So I'm not really sure what that is. Anyway, yeah, the Friendly Feud game, I think, is entertaining. We have a lot of fun poking fun collectively at answers that appear in survey answers. Survey question a bit strange. Oops. Again, I think I froze there for a second. Maybe I'm still frozen. Oh, I'm pixelated in my preview window. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess I really am. My internet connection is unstable. Shouldn't be. My internet connection here is pretty darn good in my office here. I'm pixelated, but now I've got 4 bars or whatever, now it's down to 2 bars. Very strange. Don't know what the problem is. But so the Friendly Feud game, type of a quiz game that's popular. A lot of people seem to like that. I may do a few more of the Japan quiz or USA quiz, but the Japan quiz is really, I think, made for Japanese who are studying English. But the American game too is too, I think, for Japanese. So they're not nearly as difficult of questions. The Japanese game questions are really quite difficult unless you're familiar with Japan to a good extent. Ask a lot of cultural questions that if you haven't spent time or studied Japan, you're probably not going to know. But it's kind of interesting. Again, kind of like the trivia, which I was going to say. I've kind of replaced the America and the USA game and the Japan game with the Trivial Pursuit. I found an old Trivial Pursuit collection of questions, a box of the cards with the questions in them. I thought, well, why not? Let's read some of these questions on air and see if anybody knows the answers. And they're really tough. For one thing, this I dug this out of storage a couple of weeks ago, and I believe that I bought this before I came to Japan. I've been in Japan for 33 years now. So it's been quite a while, right? And so this game is more than 30 years old. And, so a lot of the questions are, for example, television shows that would have been trivia 30 years ago are now ancient history, basically. A whole nother generation has come since these questions were written. But anyway, so I mean, for example, the traditional, those of you that remember the old Trivial Pursuit game, or maybe there's an online version now, I don't even know. But the standard categories: geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature, and sports and leisure are the 6 categories. And I randomly picked with, and then answer that question correctly, or the first one to do so, role of the category, and they can choose the next category for the. So, for example, start out with a really easy one. I mean, this, so some of these are really easy. So, do pearls melt in vinegar? So it's a yes or no question, right? Do pearls melt in vinegar? Pretty standard question, right? Just yes or no, right? Of course, for this one, the answer is yes. So the first person to have offered the yes answer, right? The first person to have typed in yes would then have control. And let's say they chose entertainment for their category, okay? Entertainment. What's a grand old name according to George M. Cohan? What's a grand old name? A grand old name according to George M. Cohan. Again, so from that, people of my era at least are familiar with the name George M. Cohan, right? But again, he was popular before my era. Grand Old Flag. Oh, hello, Share. Grand Old Flag. Oh, it's a grand old flag. It's a high flying flag. Okay, yeah. But that's a grand old flag. This is a grand old name. A grand old name. And again, I couldn't come up with this. I couldn't come up with this at all. Steinway. No, okay. Hint. It is a woman's name. It's a woman's name. A very common woman's name. Long before the fashions came, or something like that. Sorry. Please don't leave me after I start singing. No, I'll stop. I swear, I'll stop. No more singing. What's a grand old name, according to George M. Gohan? Yeah, the answer is Mary. Mary, Mary. It's no, it's a grand old name. Yeah. Anyway, that's part of the lyrics of a song about the name Mary, right? Who knows these things now? Nobody knows these things. Somebody knows these things, but whoever it is not me, and a few of my viewers know these kind of things. All right. How about this? This one, okay. This one you can get. This one you can get. Mary. That's right. Mary. Yes. What West Coast city was named for a Suquamish, Suquamish, Suquamish Indian chief named Self, Sealth, Self. What West Coast city was named for a Suquamish Indian chief named Self? Sealth is the spelling of the Suquamish Indian chief. Suquamish? Suquamish. Are they like Sasquatch? No, Suquamish. Seattle, right. It has to be, right? Yes, Seattle. Yeah. I didn't know the answer for sure until I looked, but yes, that's the right answer. Suquamish is, or Seattle is the Suquamish Indian chief, the city that was named after Self. Self. Yeah, Self. Okay, share. What topic would you like? The geography, entertainment, only thing that sounds like Sunsquam. Right, yeah. Yep, exactly. Squamish. It had to be. I mean, West Coast cities, again, I can only name so many. I mean, starting at the bottom, from San Diego, Los Angeles, or whatever. You know me, science. Yes, absolutely. Science it is. So, question is, all right. What does a clinomaniac hate getting out of? Clinomaniac. CLINO. Clinomaniac. Clinomaniac? Clino? 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 I'm not sure. Clinomaniac. Bed. Wow, that's right. It is bed. I didn't know. Never heard of Clinomaniac. Yeah, but you got it right. Your first correct answer. Excellent. All right, so what do you want to do? Another science question? Stay with science. You're the one here. I bend to your will. It's another science question. Same, sure. Okay. Here's one. Probably you can guess, or you might know. What drug did Sigmund Freud buy his first sample of for $1.29 a gram? What drug? What drug did Sigmund Freud buy a sample of and 27 cents a gram? LSD. Oh, nope. That sounds like more fun. It wasn't LSD. And wow. I mean, a gram of LSD would be enough for what? 10,000 people to trip on. I mean, what is LSD is one of those drugs that take just a micro dose. Aspirin? No. You're probably closer the first time. It's a recreational drug. How's that for a hint? It's a recreational drug. Cocaine. I assume that's cocaine, and we'll give it to you. That's right. Cocaine. Cocaine. Yes. Okay. Cocaine. Yep. $1.27 a gram for cocaine. Yeah. $1.27 a gram. I could see where someone might develop a habit at that price, right? I mean, $1.27 a gram. Oh, it's late here. Yeah. Okay. No worries. No worries. Okay. So what do we got for another science question? We'll stay science, right? I'm going to end in about 10 minutes, 10 minutes more, and then I'm going to end. So, what company makes the Band-Aid with Tricot mesh bandages? Tricot, 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 isn't it? Tricot, Tricot, Tricot. Mesh bandages, mesh, not mess, mesh bandages. Makes the Band-Aid with Tricot mesh bandages. All right, so who makes Band-Aids? Who makes Band-Aids? What do you think? What is the name of the company that makes Band-Aids? Right? Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, there are a few of those. What's that on the tip of your tongue? Yeah. Hint, they're one of the companies. Yeah, they're one of the companies that are making the corona vaccine. I think they were like the third one to come out with a vaccine in the United States. Yes, 2 words. Actually, 1 word repeated twice. Or I guess technically 3 words because there's an and in the middle. There's a family name and family name, and the family name are both the same. Not coming to mind? Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
And Ushiro-san, Mike has a class now at the Kendai or
Mhm,
something.
mhm.
Yeah. Ushiro-san is telling me,
Mhm.
and he wants to know if international lounge can be used for students who need to do like an online class
Mhm.
on campus. Right now, like some classes are face to face in the classroom,
Sure.
and some are like online,
Mhm.
and then sometimes one has to take real time online right after the face to face class,
Mhm.
and then
Right.
so
So they just need a space, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Uh-huh.
yeah. And I think it's okay.
Hmm.
But then the room now belongs to us, so
Mm.
we have to open the room every morning and close it when we leave.
Uh-huh.
But that's what we were planning to do
Right.
from the very beginning.
Right.
So,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm planning to I put thing about talk in the orientation
Mhm.
PowerPoint,
Mhm.
and I made the talk team,
Mhm.
and only one student joined.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and then but after the Golden Week, I want to make a flyer,
Mhm.
and then like to all the students, first year, second year,
Mhm.
and if they're interested in English, join teams.
Sure.
And then in teams, talk team, we communicate each other and see when students want to ask, when it's most convenient for us to get together.
Mhm.
In international lounge, or
Mhm.
if they want to talk online, that's okay. And yeah, and then if we need to use the room, we just make specific time, like Tuesday third period or fourth period. Please don't use that for student, as like exclude that time slot. But other than that, just keep it open. What does it sound?
Yeah,
How does it
that
sound?
sounds fine to me. Yeah, the pool table being in there is not going to bother
I
them.
would ask Ushroda-san again.
Okay.
And so the things could be stolen. But
Right.
We were thinking about that. We were going to open in the morning and then close
Right.
it.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too worried about
games
things
or
being
books.
stolen. Yeah, there are a few games in there, but I don't think they look all that attractive to most students, and I mean, yeah, that part of it doesn't worry me. It's just, yeah, the pool table, I'm afraid that, if somebody brings a drink or something in there and sets it, you know, so that, you know, those kind of things, because that would be, you know, serious damage to a pool table to have something spilled on it and so on, you know. But and you know, plus this pool table takes up a large amount of space in the room. It seems like of all the rooms, you know, of that size, that one gives them the least amount of room that they could actually use.
Yeah,
but,
I just looked at it and and they push the things in the
right,
back.
and plus there's the TV in there, and the foosball table is in there. You know, it's like, yeah, they can
right
use
now
it, but
like
it doesn't.
warehouse,
Right.
like a storage.
Yeah,
It looks like storage right now.
I mean, it seems to me, I'm surprised that there wouldn't be a classroom, some classroom, you know, I mean, even the smallest classroom would be more room than that would be.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but-
I'll tell them.
Yeah.
I'll tell Usuroda-san.
But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I'm not worried about theft of anything, really. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you see Mike, tell him about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. We'll do.
yeah.
Okay. Johnson and Johnson. There you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, had a little work conversation that had to take place at that time there. Sorry about that. But yeah, you're actually right. Johnson and Johnson is the answer. Which I found out. So Johnson and Johnson, they make all kinds of things, the Band-Aids and so on. The pharmaceutical branch of that is Janssen, I guess. The Janssen Pharmaceuticals of Johnson and Johnson or something like that. Yeah. No, it was 2 words. Yep. You got it right. Got it right. Johnson and Johnson. Yep. Exactly. Good job. Yeah. I didn't know that either about the Janssen, but there's a doctor. He's a doctor. He's been like a nurse educator, training nurses and so on. And, you know, he's quite knowledgeable. He's an older man. He's about my age. I don't know exactly his age, but looking at him, he's about my age, maybe a little younger. And he does a lot of, he does almost daily YouTube videos about the coronavirus. And he looks at published papers and talks about the different vaccines that are available, and he talks about trends, and he talks about the variants of concern, and he talks about things like vitamin D deficiency and how that might affect people's susceptibility to the virus, and how it might vitamin D supplements might be good for the immune system, and so on, and just anything related COVID. And his name is Dr. John Campbell. And like I said, he's a British man, very knowledgeable, well thought of in Europe. Americans, a lot of Americans also know about him and watch him. His broadcasts are probably about 45% America, 45% England and Europe, and the other 10% talking about other places like Israel and South America and India and things like that, or Australia, New Zealand, and so on. But the focus is on the United States and England especially, but also Europe to a certain extent. Yeah. Right. You you need vitamin D in order to absorb calcium. Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. Actually, if you get too much vitamin D, it can cause you to absorb too much calcium, and you can actually get calcium deposits in your, start to form in your body with the excess calcium buildup, I guess. And that's why they recommend, if you're taking high levels of vitamin D for therapeutic reasons, whatever they are, to also take vitamin K. Vitamin K2 is a vitamin. It's common over here in Japan because it appears in natto, the fermented soybeans that are popular here, which I really love. If you don't know natto, give it a try. It's delicious. It has a rather pungent aroma, but then again, that's kind of like cheese, right? The delicious cheeses usually have quite an aroma too. K2 will help prevent the buildup of the calcium from, if you happen to have a higher level of vitamin D and so on. But yeah, vitamin D, yeah, for calcium absorption and so on. As long as it's not raw fish, I'm okay. Raw fish is delicious. It really is. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I grew up in Iowa, so it's far from the ocean, and generally, the fish that people eat here is the majority, not all, the majority of it, of course, is ocean fish. Um, they do have a brook trout here in Japan that is just absolutely delicious. They're relatively small. This brook trout is just they put it on a skewer and roast it slowly over the charcoal fire. And it's just wonderful. I can do tuna, but that's all. I mean, raw tuna. Yeah, raw tuna. Yeah, that I'm good with. Yeah, that's probably my favorite too. Raw tuna, or like I said, I'm from Iowa. We're a day's drive away from the ocean, so I don't really know a lot about ocean fish. I know some river fish, bluegills, crappies, pike, and sheephead and carp and so on. But sea fish, I wasn't very familiar with until I came to Japan. So I know the Japanese names more than I know the English names of all things. Yeah, yeah, those, yeah. But so what is it? Is it so tuna? Of course, I know tuna, and salmon, of course, and red snapper. I have a tough time because I really never ate red snapper when I was in the States, because again, that it had to be trucked in from far away to get to Iowa, and so it's quite expensive. Never really wanted it so badly that I would pay that premium price in Iowa. But here, it's fairly common. So the red snapper, I know that one. That's what's known as Thai here. But then there's mackerel and sardines and what else are there? I mean, just all kind. Mackerel. I know. See, mackerel. That's the Saba, I think. And then Pacific Sauri. Yeah, boy, I had to dig for that one. Pacific Sauri is that's a long, narrow fish, a long, thin fish, known in Japan as samma. Sardines don't even have any meat on them. They are so tiny. Oh, well, no, there are sardines that are 8 inches, 10 inches long. There are a wide variety of sardines. Those tiny little things that come in the cans, that a can of sardines. Those are only one type of sardine fish. There, like I said, there are a whole range of sardines from that size or even smaller, up to, like I said, 8, 10 inches long. And what's common to them is the bones are all very soft, so you can actually eat the whole thing, without worrying about bones getting lodged in your throat and so on. So it's kind of nice. Oh, excuse me, more work. Hello. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, right. Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. Sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Bye bye. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that's what happens when I do these broadcasts from my office. Sometimes work just finds me. What can I do? What can I do? Oh, all right. I was going to end about now, but one last question. What do you say? Finish up with science. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, doggone it. Just, I guess if I want to get away from work, I have to get away from the office. All right, here we go. Science. Huh? Okay. This, never heard of this. Okay. All right. What flavor did dentist Ursula Dietrich lace her canine toothpaste Doggy Dent with? So in other words, this Ursula Dietrich made a toothpaste for dogs called Doggy Dent. Doggy Dent, okay? What flavor was Doggy Dent toothpaste? How is that science? That was a science question, I guess. Chicken or fish? No, but you're on the right track. It was not chicken, not fish, not chicken. Yeah, fish would have been for the cats, right? No. Now this is Doggy Dent for dogs. So it was actually beef, right? No, not lamb, beef. Yeah, you were getting too exotic there, Cher. Yeah, you're getting too exotic. Got to think simple, right? Beef. All right. So tell me, how is the sound? You've heard my broadcast before. I always try too hard. Yeah, you've heard my broadcast and you've seen my broadcast before. So this is my new camera. It's great. Okay, good. And so a new camera and this may be noisy. If it is, I'm sorry. Carefully. This is my new microphone. Nice big. It's quite heavy. Okay, I'm sure that was probably noisy. I'm sorry about that. Clear pick, yeah. Like I said, the Macintosh, I use Macintosh and the built-in cameras are only 720p. I mean, they're like, not the best. They're fairly clear for 720p, but the resolution is pretty low. This is at least the 1080p, and I think it's also got a wider angle lens on it, and it even has it has small lights built in around the camera, although that doesn't really make too much difference here. Also has built-in microphones in this webcam, but I don't use those because, as I just showed you, my new microphone is quite nice. I think has the gain control built in right in the front there, and interestingly, you can choose a pattern for the microphone to either the one I use is the front facing, but you can have it all encompassing, so omnidirectional, so sounds from any part of the room will equally enter be recorded by the phone, or you can have it like a dialogue, so the front and the back are focused, so if you were having an interview with someone, each sitting on the opposite sides of the table. So it's kind of interesting. I like it. And like I said, it's nice and heavy, so I don't have to worry about it tipping over too easily and so on. Yeah, I'm surprised too. And it plugs right into the computer through USB port. So not the old sound the microphone headphone microphone port, but through the USB. So I guess inside the microphone it's got lots of circuitry to do all this fancy stuff, and so on. You can even plug headphones, wired headphones. You can plug them into the bottom of the microphone so that you can have your headphones have your sound come through the interface that way. So it's kind of interesting, but just playing around. I do think that I made some good choices here. The camera seems to be, like I said, clearer than the built-in cameras of the Macintoshes, and this microphone seems to be a pretty good choice too. Yes, there's a pianist that plays and no one can hear him in his building. Oh, yeah. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, had a friend who was a guitar player, and of course, and he did that so that rather than go out through the amp, he had it somehow hooked up so that it was through his headphones, so he could practice all he wanted to without disturbing people. Yeah, but piano, that's interesting too. Pianist, no one can hear me. Hi, Denu, can you see my comments? Yes, JB, yes. I see. Looks flashy. How much for the condenser microphone? It was, let me see. Let's see. For the microphone, this is a Blue is the manufacturer. Yeti X, YETI-X. I guess the model is BM600X, and that was about $200, just a little over $200. So there you go. The camera that I'm using is it's a Logitech camera C930. So 930E is the model of the camera. Japanese brand on the mic? No, I don't think so. In fact, I think if you look at Apple's website, where they're selling their Macintosh computers and iPads and iPhones and so on, if you look under accessories, I think you can find Blue microphones. I think you can find a Blue Yeti. At least you used to be able to. They partner with different people at different times, so they may have different partners now. They also had Shure microphones there for a while also. But yeah, this Blue company, let's see. What can I find out here? I mean, it's maybe it's in connection with Logitech somehow. So maybe it is Japanese. But wait, is Logitech Japanese? I don't know. It's so common over here. I almost feel that it is Japanese, but then maybe again, it's not. Let's see. What does it say here? Blue microphone. Blue. Yeti X mic. Macintosh. 2-year warranty. Yeah. So the parent company. Logitech. So Logitech is a international company. Perhaps you know. Yeah, you have Logitech there, right? Yeah. So I mean, I think that it's a multinational company, because here listed on the bottom of this box, because I'm in Japan, of course, but it's got Logitech Asia Pacific, and then Logitech Singapore, Logitech Australia Computer, Logitech Australia Computer Peripherals Limited, or something like that. So this particular box for the Japanese market lists Singapore, Australia, and another number. I'm not sure if that's a Japanese number or not. It doesn't have an address. It only has a telephone number. And I'm not sure what the country code is even. So I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, this is the box. The Yeti X. Right, from Blue. And yeah. So my listeners, hello Edward. Welcome. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's nice looking. It's a Yeti Blue. I got the black model. So it's called Blackout. Maybe you can't read that. Yeah, but the the blue, the Yeti Blue is the company. I guess again the microphone subdivision of Logitech, and Yeti X is this particular model. There are 2 or 3 different Yeti models of microphone, and I think this Yeti X is maybe the higher level model of the microphone that they have. Let's see. Time for me to go. It's after 11. Okay. See you next game day. Yes, please do. Yes, I'll be looking for you. Share. Always appreciate. You did get your certificates, didn't you? I sent those out. Of course, sometimes I forget to attach the certificate. So sometimes people get an empty email and say, what's going on, right? What's the deal there? Yes, you did. Okay, good deal. Okay, yes. Edward, yes, thank you for all the greetings you're sending to people. That's good. Yes. And yeah, so JB, if you got any more questions, yeah, so this Yeti Blue, oops, whatever that is, Blue Sherpa. I don't know what that is. It's got all kinds of controls here. Like I said, the gain and headphone level and blend. Oh, if you're plugging your ear headphones into the microphone base to get your sound through there, and all kinds of things. And of course, mute. I can mute myself with one touch. If I try the mute here, I'm going to, while I continue talking, I'm going to push the mute button. So if it suddenly cuts out, that's because I pushed the mute button. So here I go. And now I push the mute button again, and I'm back on. Am I right? I think that's the way it works. Let's see. Everyone, please remember the 3 S's of HAPS: subscribe, sponsor, and share with this amazing broadcast. There you go. Thank you, Edward. Thank you very much. Oh, my own cheering section there. Thank you very much. Yes, it is true. We do need to support each other. I try. I generally do, and I think that most people do. One of the wonderful things of this community is the way people subscribe to each other. Anyone that subscribes to me, I try to subscribe to them also. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of doing that. It does mean I get lots of interesting activity announcements, right? Somebody's going live, somebody is on, somebody else's guest, and so on. It's good. Oh, Edward just subscribed. Thank you. Tiara is here. Hello, Tiara. Welcome. Yeah, I was just talking a little bit about my new camera. You've seen me on camera before, so this is the picture from my new camera, and I also have a new microphone, so hopefully the sound is a little better than it was before. It's still my voice, so there's only so much, the microphone can't do magic, nor can the camera, right? So may give you a more accurate picture of what I actually look and sound like. So whether that's an improvement or not is up for debate, I guess. So anyway, I'm a professional broadcaster now. No, I'm still an amateur, but it is fun. And as I was just saying, the HAPS community is such a great community. I know a lot of people have come from other platforms. I've heard a lot of people talking about Periscope and so on, and how they miss Periscope. And I'm sure that it was wonderful. I got into broadcasting when Periscope had already decided or it was already determined that Periscope was going to go bye-bye. So I never got into Periscope at all. God, you really never sleep. Yeah. JB, yeah, he is everywhere. Yeah, always welcome guest wherever he is. I'm sure, I know he is here, and yeah. So like I'm saying, the HAPS community is just wonderful. So much sharing, so much mutual support. Um, you know, the users, the broadcasters, of course, the audience has been great. Um, and the developers, the people that are making the software and administrating the servers, and all those type of things that are making all this available to us, and we can get started for free, do this, without paying monthly fees and so on. And they've, it's so well thought out, the way they have the mutual support, and sending awards to each other, and and just the depth of the planning that went into this. I guess we're more than a year into the HAPS history now. Have an amazing Monday. Thank you for your blessings on my day. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, the depth, that of their planning, so easy to add guests, and the different arrangements, and you can choose either portrait or landscape layout, and then how you arrange those things, and even the simple things of the animation, the sliding around of, if you change things, you can choose that, and so on, and how you can share your computer screen, or an application window, and so on. We all love HAPS fam here. Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. So I'm preaching to the choir, as they say, right? Yeah, we're all on HAPS, so we all know how great it is. But yeah, just every once in a while, I feel the urge to say, yes, I appreciate you, HAPS. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate all of you, all my viewers, not my viewers, all the HAPS community that drops by to listen once in a while. Really appreciate it. Makes it a lot of fun, and because it's fun, that's why it's nice to upgrade my system a little bit, to try and give the viewers a little better experience if I can. Try and keep things going. So most of you know about my Friendly Feud games that I do, and I've been adding some trivia quizzes and things like that, and then my philosophy talks that I do. I also, depending on the weather and my schedule, try to do some walks around Kumamoto City to give you a view of some place in Japan that's not the big city like Tokyo or Osaka, and even not as well known as Hiroshima and so on, but just the little town of Kumamoto, give you some glimpses of that. But I'm also going to try and do some interviews with some people that might be interesting. Not necessarily famous people, although I am trying to arrange for times to interview some, if not well-known, they should be more well-known. Perhaps that's the way to put it. They should be more well-known than they are. People in different industries that, again, I'm still making plans, but also just everyday people that are not on HAPS yet, but I think deserve a little bit of a platform to talk about themselves and what they like and what they do, and just let people know about them. My particular interest is in the Philippines. I don't know too many broadcasters from the Philippines here on HAPS now. If any of you know of Filipinos, not Filipinos in America, but in the Philippines, I think that's difficult because the infrastructure, the internet connections in the Philippines are generally, the quality is not as good as a lot of places. And so if you get outside the large metropolitan areas, especially, so if you're in Manila, or someone with the financial ability to broadcast like that, you can find. But I'm trying to give people, just everyday people, more of a chance to get known on HAPS and get them interested in broadcasting for themselves. Choir needs to be preached to. We need to be kind and considerate of our community. Blessings. Yes. Thank you. It's great. I love it. I love HAPS. I love the people here. It's been a great experience. Daniel, everyone you interview will be awesome to our community. We hold everyone on high regards. Each person is an original design. It would be beautiful to meet and experience different types of individuals. Yes, I think so too. I mean, I know, I have met through my time, for example, in the Philippines, young people, struggling to make ends meet, and the things that they do, and still with the great attitude that they have, the love that they have for life and living, even given their difficult situation. And older people in the Philippines, where they've lived for years, and now they're enjoying, maybe not the best of the health of their lives, but they're enjoying their extended family, which is so important in the Philippines. Family is everything in the Philippines. And I'm not saying that Philippines is the only place where that's true, but my opinion is that it's less so than it used to be in America. We don't see as many extended families, 3 generations living in the same home. You still see that in the Philippines. Skyping, or doing broadcasting, whatever, video phones and so on, with your family every weekend or something like that is one thing. But living together, the 3 generations under one roof, or even 4 generations under one roof, used to happen all the time. That used to be the norm, at least in rural parts of America, which isn't the case anymore. And the same can be said of Japan. So I guess that's it's part of the industrialization, the modernization of society. It's lost out on that, and it hasn't in the Philippines because they aren't as industrialized and modernized as we are. What's my connection to the Philippines? Well, my wife is Filipina, so that's a pretty tight connection right there. So I, as you know, I'm a teacher, an English teacher in Japan, and I got involved in a group of English teachers, teaching professionals in Japan that go to different countries around Asia and share our knowledge about how to better teach English as a second language. And so we go to places like Vietnam, Bangladesh, Kyrgyzstan, Philippines, Indonesia, where else? I can't remember. There's several different places. And, we do conduct seminars, conferences, workshops, or whatever in those locations to share our ideas about what are the more effective ways to teach language. And so that's how I first went to the Philippines. Before I met my wife, or about the same time I met my wife, I guess, actually. And I had met her, but we weren't together at all yet. But I went to the Philippines and loved it. Loved the food. Loved the climate. It's warm. I went there in February, and February in Japan is like February in at least the southern half of the United States. It's cold. Not so cold. It does snow occasionally and so on. That's what the weather is like here anyway. We're not in the mountains. But then go to the Philippines and, sorry, I have to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit for you Americans, I guess. I was going to say here, you go from 5 or 10 degrees. To the Philippines, it's 30 degrees. So I guess that's going from what is that, 5 to 10 degrees. So that's like probably 35 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in February. And it's like, wow, February, I'm just starting to get tired of the cold weather and take a trip to the Philippines. And that's the little tonic that I need about that time. My company used the Bangladesh talents for our back office with our software within our funeral professional. Oh, interesting. Bangladeshi. Yeah, cool. I mean, it's, so Bangladeshi, the image, I think, for a lot of the phone consultation, phone support, helplines and so on. A lot of those, at least from jokes that I've heard, because I haven't actually called up a helpline that I can recall myself, but the jokes that I hear, you're likely to get an Indian on the line, speaking English, but with that distinct Indian accent and so on, right? But that is moving. Not necessarily moving, but it's also that the helplines are increasing in the Philippines because their English is very, very good. They were under American domination for 75 years, something like that. And so that influence and not America. They were under American influence, and English is still to this day one of the 2 official languages in the Philippines, which is another reason why I love the Philippines, because I can go there and everybody can understand me. A lot of them are shy because their English speaking isn't, many of them, especially those that are less educated, those, still people that don't finish high school in the Philippines. But those that did finish high school, or at least those that have some college experience, those that have that education level, all speak English very, very well. Their English is a little different in the same way that British English or Australian English is different than American English, but their English is very, very good. Is to double Celsius and add 30 to convert to Fahrenheit. Works pretty good. Yeah, okay. So 5 degrees Celsius is about 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about right. But yeah, and 30 degrees Celsius is about 90. Yeah, so I guess intuitively that's what I came up with. You're absolutely right. It works. But anyway, yeah, so from doing this volunteer conferencing seminars in the Philippines was my first experience. And when I did that, I first went to Manila, which, is just another big city. Big cities have more in common with them around the globe than rural areas do with other rural areas, I think. Seen one big city, you've seen them all, kind of thing. That's not quite true, I know, but anyway, I spent time in Manila the first trip, and I said, wow, this is different. I mean, it is different than Japan in a lot of ways, but it's like, I want to see what the Philippines is outside of the national capital region, in the same way that when I came to Japan, I wanted to see what Japan was like outside of Tokyo and Osaka. And it's why I ended up in Kumamoto. In the same way, the Philippines, where I built a house. Yeah, that's how much. I mean, like I said, my wife is Filipina, and we don't even have a house here. We're just living in an apartment in Japan. Housing prices are pretty high, but when given a choice between building a house here and building one in the Philippines, we went with the Philippines. That's where I plan to go when I retire. And Actually, I plan to hopefully continue to work even in the Philippines, doing online things. Um, that's a big business now. Is there, Filipinos, like I said, the educated ones, their English is very, very good. Uh, Online lessons, private lessons, one-to-one online is a service that more and more Filipinos are learning that has become quite lucrative, especially with Korean or Japanese students. Both Koreans and Japanese have enough disposable income to be able to afford those type of one-on-one virtual lessons and so on. So a lot of Filipinos are doing that, and I think it's great. It's something that I could do too. Japanese would be, and some of them would be quite happy and even a little relieved, I think, to have an American do their lesson, even if it's online and so on. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. Also, another thing I've been doing is bringing students from Japan to the Philippines for a couple of weeks during the spring vacation time and showing them the Philippines. And these are especially students that are particularly interested in English. Of course, I speak Japanese, so I can give them the Japanese support for those that are weaker in their English, but they have all the opportunity they could ever want to speak English, because like I said, everyone around them is going to be able to speak English with them. Some more than others, as I said, but everyone can communicate in English in the Philippines. So it's been a great opportunity. I've only been able to do it twice. This was supposed to be the third year this last February during our vacation time here in Japan. But Corona, such is life. All right. Well, I've gone past my intended ending time now. So, but it's all good. I'm just happy to have you guys here to drop in and talk. I know that it's got to be late for many of you. So I appreciate you sticking it to me. No, sticking with me this long. And I look forward to seeing you all again real soon. Watch my broadcast. Like I said, it'll be Tuesday evening where you guys are, where most of you are anyway. And take care. Bye-bye.